I didn't tell nobody I was going live. I just pop up and do what I do, right? Um, and hopefully, we'll have some friends come by and investigate why I went live and all that good jazz. And I've been really over on the other platform, kind of investigating some new avenues. I've mentioned it before with some gaming stuff. I'm getting really focused on that, right? So I've been kind of like mingling in that arena and discovering all that. Hey, so that's what I've kind of been doing. But today I came over here because I do like talking about relationships. It's one of those things that I have a passion for is to help others and really share my experiences. And that is one of the reasons why I even started going live in general a few years ago. Is because that is the whole thing was that like helping others and kind of helping them evaluate their own relationship and things like that. Hey, it's nice to see everyone. Hopefully, you guys will come in. So I did make a title because I've been thinking about this topic for a little bit, and it's been something that's been on my mind, and a lot of people come in room for different reasons now, and so I think this is the right platform for it. So one of the things is, um, I said I want a relationship like that, right? And I've been on the other platform, the Tickety Top, and I've been looking at a lot of relationship content and things like that. And to me, I've been listening a lot, really taking it in. And yes, it is regurgitated women versus men. And I think that, I'm just in evaluating everything. And I kind of stumbled upon and my thoughts that, like, this kind of reminds me of Babylonian times. I know you're going to say that's really extreme, but that's what it kind of reminds me of. If you don't know the story of Babylon, you should really look at it. Um, and if you're not interested in that, that's fine. But just knowing the story is a story, right? Even if you don't maybe believe in certain things, any tale or folk tale or whatever. I'm not saying that it's a folk tale. I'm saying you can hear the story so you can get the understanding, right? Hey there. So the understanding is that when there was a time where all the lands and all the people were working together, living, coincide with each other, and different cultures and things were mixing and things were going good, right? It's Babylonian time, right? And when they were there, all of a sudden, you know, there was some issues, right? We'll say there was some issues, but I wonder if life right now is reflecting what that is. I mean, because we weren't there, right? I'm doing good. We weren't there. So I'm like a time where multiple cultures all work together. I'm not saying we're always understanding of each other. I'm not saying that. But if you think about it, our relationships are a reflection of our society, a reflection where we are. In our society right now, since there's social media and all these other things, and we can meet so many new people, right? We interact with all these people every day, different times, and all this, and they have different cultures and different backgrounds. You could date somebody that you would never have met before 10 years ago, 20 years ago. You would never have met them. And so the thing is, their culture and their background after, 10, 20 years of living in the US, especially, where we're the biggest point where multiple cultures come together, multiple people from multiple places. We're the basically we are the place. Like we're the capital of basically build your own. So everyone comes here, right? We're that beacon. And so when you have those kind of situations, you're like, damn, like how can you make a relationship work? If you really think about how can you make a relationship work where the whole society as a whole is not on the same page in any form, fashion, or way. Now, I know a lot of people like when we talk about relationships, they always go back to, oh, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, there wasn't this many people from other places in one location, right? So this is a little bit of history too, because I really enjoy history. History is like my favorite thing ever in the whole world, right? And it's not about you can't say America. America is a melting pot. If no one has ever heard, it is a melting pot, and they mean it literally. There is no original other than Native Americans. Even they even fight on that. So they even say, oh, they're Africans that came over and then they came over to do a little trade and they might be mixed. Well, at this point, this place is the beacon of we don't have a unified anything. We are building from the bottom, and we're taking other cultures, other places, other people, and we're putting them all in place and seeing if they can make it. If we have a unified understanding to some degree that if you work hard, your work will pay off and you'll have a reward. That was really the gimmick, right? And so we're talking about our relationships were a reflection. If you guys don't understand that, I have to set the base first. Relationships are a direct reflection upon what society looks like. And I'll be honest, if you really look at our society right now in the US is very chaotic and not unified on anything. You see debates everywhere, everyone, there's always someone against something. This is not the case when we were back in the 30s, 40s, 50s. There was more unification in even what your home life looked like in general. When you went to, I like to go with the 50s more because even when you get commercials and things like that, everything was the same. You could, that's why cookie cutter came from. The houses look the same. And you see those things, you used to watch movies and things like that, where everybody's driving out to go to work at the same exact time. Everyone basically has kind of the same boss. Everything's very, very unified. Your house looks a certain way. The Stepford wife idea, in which we broke away from because people wanted some differences because when other cultures came in, those cultures looked different. And then you said, maybe that works for them. Maybe I'll try that. Or maybe I'll take pieces of what they have. Some people didn't just say F everything. Some people take pieces of different cultures. Then you have people who are mixed families where there's someone from America, there's someone from this place and that. And then those cultures come together to unify and make it there. So this is setting the base up. So I know a lot of people came in and left, but that's the whole point I'm getting at is when we are all not unified at all. And then you go out into the world, let's say I was brought up poor, I didn't have a lot, but we want to work hard, blah, blah, blah. And I go into a family that's been even semi-wealthy, middle class, which barely exists anymore. If you do that, they have a different lifestyle, they have a different way of moving than my family. And when we come together and we try to form a family, there should possibly be conflict. I think there's so much conflict that a lot of times we can't even get past the dating stage to even get to a supposed marriage because we're conflicting in just understanding each other's value system. And I think that's a big one. The value system of people is so niche. It is so specific and special that it's very, very hard to find someone who actually agrees with it. And so I can understand because I used to be like a little bit of battle where I say, oh, there's people who live in a mindset of this traditional style, right? But that is a style. So that those set of people who are more traditional, who want the 1950s, whatever, they have a set of rules and guidelines that they follow. And so everyone who wants to live like that and be in that, kind of lifestyle, they know the expectations, they know the guidelines, know the rules. So when you get with someone who's on the same page, it's very, very easy to understand if you'd want to stay with them and stay with them for long because you guys are very, very similar on the same things. And then you can go to another place that's not very traditional, and those two people can get together, but their value systems is very, very similar, and they can stay together a very long time because what they value, what they understand, what they want, and their goals are really, really similar. And I think that's really a lot to do with the issue. And now we have the blame game in these relationship spaces where we're always trying to blame someone or a gender or a race or something for the reasons why. And I think a lot of the reason is that we're just not on the same value system anymore. And not just all on the same value system. I feel like there's not just one or two value systems. It used to be like you're traditional or you're not. right? But people who weren't, there was a way and rhyme and reason for that too. And you would look like this. Well, that no longer is there because now they've even divided. So now you have literally 15 different ways of being in relationships. And after you've grown up and lived with whatever, which one you're in, you go out into a world where now there's so many different relationship values and things like that. It's very hard to find a match. Even though the pool has gotten bigger, which you would think you have more opportunity. It got bigger, but then it had more sections. So now you're having different cultures come in on top of the traditional and non-traditional. Now you have different cultures and they're non-traditional in their country and what their you know exceptions are. And so it's like you have your way here in the US where they have their traditional life, right? And then you'll go to another country. What traditional looks like to them may not look the same as what it looks like in America. So you have all of these cultures coming together. And that's why I said it reminds me of Babylonian times. And I'll say that because I know we're not talking about the end result of that story. We're just talking about in general. I wonder if they dealt with this. I wonder if they dealt with this. And when obviously the disbursement took place, which was not because of people just don't have common sense, uh the it was like they couldn't speak to each other, right? The languages and barriers like that, they couldn't speak to each other, and nobody really wanted to do that, and they separated everyone. And then when they had the separation, it did seem like that worked. You see what I'm saying? And I know I don't want to be a negative Nancy. I don't. I'm not being negative. I'm just looking at what it is for what it is. If, and we all know it's a struggle when you go outside of anything that you were brought up in the culture that you're in to go into another one because a lot of times you have to choose, right? And that is a big thing. So I do wonder. I actually want to do a little bit more research on it and maybe have another show with someone else, so I can have a little bit more panel because I like panels, right? About that because I wonder what that would look like, and I wonder if everyone trying to do the blame game that's never going to have a good result. Even if the result is it changing to one side, you'll have people who are going to be upset and act out, right? So I don't want to say it. I do want to say it. But it's kind of like figure out which value you are and then kind of stay in that arena. Now that's from a person who dates people who are monogamous. And see that am I trying to be contradictory? Am I trying to contradict myself? But it is. It is what it is. I I know, but I also know that I have a a limit and a line to it. I can see now. I don't know if I'm the one who can see, but after a while, if not, um, that there are people who struggle with transition. And when you, even if you can see it sometimes early, you can see right when you go on the first date sometimes. You're like, that's not gonna work. And I don't want to waste the time, but it's because I know. Do you know what I'm saying? So when I say I want a relationship like that, I think a lot of people are looking for a relationship based on values that they deem and they resonate with. Because when they see these TV shows, because it gets a little deeper, you see these TV shows. It's not all, we're not all watching the same TV show, people. Some people are not watching it. Some people are not watching the same TV shows as you. Okay. Someone is watching Housewives of Atlanta. Okay. And then someone else is watching Maury. And then someone else is watching, because I don't even watch these damn shows, unfortunately. Someone's watching Love Island. They're not watching the same thing. So, they're watching different things. And so what they deem acceptable or what they think is extreme is not extreme to the other person because those values aren't the same, and I want us to be real specific on that is because I've had relationships where I've had to ask, like, what does respect mean to you? And No, does that sound like a ridiculous thing to ask you? You should know respect it. No, because no everybody's definition of anything these days is the same, and you should all know that. So let's say like I'll say like, yeah, I think the definition of respect looks like this, and this, and you're probably like, oh no, that's not respect me because I've done things. I'm like, that's not disrespectful. The definition I have is this, blah blah blah, and I can look it up all day in dictionary all day, and you'll be like, oh no, but that thing you did was disrespectful. I was taught that when I was little. I was not there, and I did not live in your neighborhood, and our mamas did not agree upon the same thing. So I don't agree. Let me read some of these underneath. I did not hear, but America doesn't understand family in the village. And see, that's the thing. America is not a village. America's a melting pot. So that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Um, we have to break out of these chains that got on us. And like, that's a cultural thing. That's the same. Like these differences that we act like they don't exist or try to, they exist, and you just have to accept it and understand it. And once we get there, I think also because we're in a place. I've said this multiple times. I need everyone to listen. The U.S. is. You can ask any other country. We are self-centered. They're called the brats. We are known as very selfish people. We are grown up to think about me, my. We are not group mentality. We would set our own people on fire, our family and friends, to get the come up. There other societies don't think that way and they don't move that way. And you see it, and then when they do better in certain areas than us, we get confused. Don't be confused. The ones whose families have been here for decades and decades, their mentality is different. It's shark mentality, right? And these people who are coming from other places, their group mentality, it's not the same. So when they come here, they usually are very highly successful because they move that way. Um, and they've figured out, depending on their culture, what works best. And then they stick to it and they stand on it like it's the end and it's the end of the world and you can't break it. And that is the thing. We here, it only takes a dollar amount for most of us to be broken. Other places, it's not the same. It's not the same. It just takes someone to tell us so we can get a little come up for us to just set everything else on fire. Because me, my. And what can I get? And that's just what it is. And you don't, and not everyone's like that, but a good portion. So just being self-aware of that, right? We just need to know that so that when we're out here in general, we're aware of that most people are in that mindset, and it's not to be mean, it's just how they were shown, right? Let's keep going. We also find the resolve with ourselves. You don't like someone else's life for their burdens that are theirs. Accountability is a must if you want to be fruitful and multiply. Accountability. Accountability is funny to me a little bit. And I think you should take accountability. Yes, you should take accountability. I do agree upon that. Sorry, I don't know how that moved. But the thing is, and I'll say I use my emotions quite a bit, right? So I try not to sometimes. We got to turn them off. If you're in the mindset that everything is just so raw all the time, there would not be very much beautiful things. The emotions paint things that are beautiful, right? And when we're so logical, everything just seems raw and almost dead. I don't know. It doesn't seem good. It seemed very bland. And you are in a society where there are ladies, where there are more ladies than men. And not just in this society, in the world. We outnumber. When this many women are on this earth compared to men, I would say that I would be wary to be overly in your, I'm trying to use very nice choice words here. I think that you have to know how to navigate emotion. That's the best way. Navigate your emotion and know how to navigate others' emotions. Everything can't be is just cut and dry. Sometimes it has to be, in which I very much agree. But it's not always that way. And there are lots of beautiful, passionate things that come from that side that's not that way. And when you act like there isn't, it's almost as you're killing the part that makes emotion so wonderful. And you don't want to do that, right? You don't want to do that because emotion can also be very helpful and assist you in the things that you need. Motivational. So be careful with that. That's what I will say. Okay, so let's see. Okay, you can't live someone else's life for them and their burdens. Oh, they're only ever read that. Sorry. And oh, you took away your message. Okay. So yes, but when I wrote this title, I said I want a relationship like that. I think we all think about that. That's a big thing. I think a lot of people think about I want a relationship like that. I want a relationship that looks like this. We get a first glance at most people's relationships. We get a view of a lot of reality shows and the reality everything. I mean, at this point, even your phone is showing you someone else's life all day, every day. If you know, every good idea, every bad idea starts off as a good idea, right? It sounded like a good idea, right? So every bad idea started off as a good idea. And the idea to let people know that they're not alone in their struggles, let people know that, you know what, this is what I do every day, putting that there sounded like a good idea. And people like to watch other people. They like to feel included. They like to feel like their emotions, their feelings are validated by others. And in a society where most of us don't socialize after high school or sometimes college, if you get there, um, you don't socialize on a high level like you used to. It's just, oh, I meet people at the club, or you have a club friend. These are relationships you lose. You lose more relationships in your mid-20s, especially if you don't go to college. You go to college, you'll probably have a little bit longer, but you lose so many relationships because they're based on a time frame and particular things. And then when you get a little older, the focus really is on making money and starting to set up life. Or if you're not really setting up life, you're just kind of more focused on taking care of yourself. That's selfish. There's I gotta go here, blah, blah, blah. And so when you see someone else doing the same struggle, you feel validated in that. And you feel like, okay, well, I'm not the only one who can't afford that. I'm not the only one who can't do that. Or this and that. And as you notice, it used to be reality TV would show you the rawness of what reality was. It used to show you the people who were poor, the average person who was trying to get food. They used to see like other, oh gosh, what was that show called? It was like Real Life, blah, blah, blah. And they would say like True Life or something. I forgot the name, I apologize. And they would say like, my mom did this or blah blah or and they would show you their life. It'd be like two or three people and they show you their lives individually. And you'd be like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. I didn't know people were out here like that. Or you'd be like, oh my God, you know. But it would show the rawness. It would show people's beds being dirty, people, you know, waking up just you know, not getting ready properly, or you know, it would just show this rawness, or people having these arguments that you don't see. Now, when you see a reality show, it's like almost the state, like it is staged. This is not BS ourselves, right? It's a staged relationships. You'll see someone come into a room. Like, how often do you get your aunt to come over to talk to you about how she feels about your relationship. I ain't never made a say, oh, I'm gonna come over there tomorrow. We're gonna talk about your relationship with this guy. No, they come like, oh, I'm gonna go over your house. I'll come see you. And they come over and they talk crap. No one plans or sets a date to meet at a restaurant so you can talk. I mean, some girls get together to talk crap. But they be like, girl, let's go. I'm gonna come over there and talk to you about this. They go to your house and they sit on your couch and they probably eat snacks and all that. They don't go to a fancy restaurant for the most part and sit there and then throw water at each other. Half of people aren't even eating when they're there. It's a setup. It's a setup. It's a setup. It's a setup. It's foolishness. Or they'll say, "Oh, we're gonna go to this party. What's his name? Party." And if you see the camera looks like they're having this big party, but if they pull back the camera, which they do sometimes, you see ain't nobody in the room but 4 people, and they got all these balloons and stuff. Y'all spend all this money for nobody to show up. That's what it is. It's foolishness, and it's not reality anymore. It's partial reality. You have people setting up arguments and fights just for drama to get views. These aren't real relationships. So when we talk about reality and you say, oh, I want that relationship, that is just probably not even based off of actual reality. It's based off of a storyline that someone wrote. And then how does that make, I don't think anyone thinks about like how does it make you feel to know that the idea you have in your head about how your boyfriend should react, the idea you have in your head about who's doing that, blah, blah, blah. And if you see without reality shows, and it's for you women out there, those men in first off, you see men in reality shows, they look like it's the worst thing that's ever happened to them in their lives. They do not, and they look drained and stressed. And they don't want to be up though, because what they want to play, they'll get the money, play the game. I'm not saying none of it's wrong, but I'm saying a lot of it's just fake. A lot of it's like, oh, you was over here, or they're setting them up. Like, what guy's gonna say no to be in a room with women who are attractive, who think they're attractive, or they think that maybe they're not even attractive, they have money or whatever, and they can have opportunity to possibly sleep with them because they're having a good time because now the studio didn't pay for y'all to go to a hot tub and a hotel. I mean, it's foolishness. It's foolishness. And so you're basing your relationship and how your emotional state should be in your house. And that's why I understand why men are saying, like, I don't like you watching those shows. And I've noticed it myself. There are some shows I used to watch when I was like in my 20s, maybe 18, 20. And then I used to be like, oh, and one day I was like, why am I watching this? I was like, because it makes me feel a certain way. Like, yeah, it's kind of entertaining, but it's the same story over and over again. Somebody did something, made somebody mad, and they gonna go try to confront them and show them how big and bad they're not gonna take it, but they still stay in it. So basically doing the same thing that Jenny doing outside. And I can see that for free. And I don't have to spend all day in her business, and I'm okay. And I can do something else. That's basically the mindset of that. So let's read this again. Black women have done a lot of things for celebrate and bring pride. And I think we should make it a point to highlight that. Focus on the bottom of the barrel, flex your own inner conflict. How would you describe true love? Would you think makes a man trustworthy? How do you determine if a man suffers from arrested development? Okay, well, that's a lot of questions there, but I'll try to do one at a time. I don't think when they say true love, I don't think I've ever really used that word anywhere. I think if you say true love, you should say I truly love you, and you're telling the truth. I don't think there's a person that you come upon and they're hit every button. That wouldn't make any sense. There's always going to be something, no matter how little, that is not perfect, and because no one's perfect. So the idea in your mind that someone is perfect for you is true, but the idea that they're perfect is not true. And so, that's something I think is weird. What I believe is that you can find someone that you are absolutely okay and accepting of all the bad and good. And I think, yes, you can do that more than one time in your life. I just think it's very, very plausible because you get along with people all the time. And if you work in situations where you work in customer service or service or not, there's lots of people you can deal with on a daily that even sometimes agitate you a little bit, and they're fine. And you deal with them all day long, and it's just what it is. And that's okay too. Um, what do I think make a man trustworthy? I don't think there's anything that makes someone trustworthy other than they're trustworthy. You're gonna do what you say. I don't think any. I think society has built people to not be honest. So you're in a society. I think any woman or man who believes anybody is absolutely telling the truth all the time, they have some form of autism. No, because they don't understand social cues. Because lying doesn't make sense. If that makes sense, you literally have to be that raw to be in this society and be that honest, or you don't care. Usually you'll see older people be extremely truthful because they don't care. That's it. That's it. They just don't care. They don't care if you're mad about it. They don't care. Their care is very extremely low. Most people care about what others think. Most people care about how others feel, and regardless of how they do it, they do it. There are men who do it too. They go, "Oh, we try to be honest, but y'all take us some way, so you're not honest. You're not." I mean, you're literally saying that women can't handle it. I'm not saying that this is the argument I hear a lot in these spaces. Women can't handle honesty. Women can't handle the truth. They fall apart. And even if it's true, that just basically is then verifying what we said initially, which is you're not honest, you're not truthful, regardless of the reason. You could be like, well, if I told her every time a girl came up to me, it would put her in a state of anxiety and I care about her mental health. You're a liar. Or we'll use this one. You don't tell everything that you think you probably should mention because you don't want a reaction. So I don't think anyone's all the way honest. I don't think you do. I think you have to be. I think there is a time and place for certain things. Conversation should be had. The time amount and all that, I think it depends on the person. And I do believe that there's always consequences for you either saying or not saying something. You just have to be okay with those consequences. So I don't think it's either wrong or right per se, because that thing goes down to a value system. Whose value system do you abide by? And that's why I said the value system is so important, because you can be with someone and you value something. You may say, oh, telling this person that my ex called me, it didn't matter because I'm not interested. But they may think, well, oh, I really think you should have told me that because now I feel some way. Did y'all value that? Like, what was the values that you be fully open and honest is more important than the protection? You'd have to find out the value system in that. And that's why I said just you're navigating regular relationships on a daily basis could be very, very difficult for anyone when none of us are on the same value system at all. Most of us have a made up or it's made up because they created it. A value system that is created and that you assume other people should abide by because you assume that's what everything looks like. You assume that the value system in your home that your mom and dad had, even if they're together or not, is a value system that someone else is going to have with maybe their mom or just their dad. You're assuming that they value and understand and the same things you do and they don't. And so that's why when they say I understand why they say when you get married, you make your own home, your own system, because it it is yours. And so you maybe even accepting something like someone cheating on you, the value system maybe that you guys have an understanding that things happen, blah blah blah. You might have that understanding. You might be okay with that value system, of that things like that occur, and that this is what you do for the outcome. Other people are like, I would never, because their value systems are different. Their parent would never have done that. They would never have been okay with that. And so I understand where it streamlines all the way down to men saying, well, when you get in the house, he's supposed to run it, someone's supposed to run it. And if that value system that all the same men are in the house, running the house is very similar, that it should look all the same. And that would make sense, but we're not in that world anymore. And that's the thing. If you're not in that world anymore, you cannot expect everyone, for the most part. You have women who think wearing a bikini outside to the store is acceptable, and women who think that that's crazy wild. You can see it just from going from I used to live in Florida, and I came to Nebraska. And I remember first time I came back from Florida to Nebraska. I remember my mother said, I want you to not wear the clothes you wear here. And I was like, why? And I was still young. I was living with her. So apparently she thought what I wore was fine. But she's like, because when you go there, you look like a streetwalker. And I was like, oh shit. But actually, I'm pretty damn modest when I'm in Florida. So DC is not the same. It's not even the same in different areas here. It is not what I would like to wear here. And I have friends who've moved here with me from Florida, and they're like, what I would like to wear, I think someone would die. Like they would die. And then when I go to work, sometimes they're like, you look really dressed up, but I'm like, oh, like where you think I'm going out? I wouldn't even wear this to go out. This wouldn't be an option on the table. Like this is not even the item I would wear to go out to a club. Like this is like, no. And but to them, that's going out wear, which I think is crazy. But it's because I know where I am. I know where I am. So I'm very aware of that. Yes, there are times where I want to just dress like I want to dress. But when I go out, I look like I'm dressed up to go out to them. And I'm not. I have examples of me when I'm about to go to work. And they're like, oh, where are you going? I'm like, to my job. And it's not special to me. I don't understand what is so special, but who am I? So anyway, yeah. Harmful and harmless. I don't think anyone's harmful or is harmless. I don't think anyone's is harmless. Like I said, there is always a price. The question is not, is there a price? The question is, do you want to pay it? That is the question. Are you okay with what it costs? They're gonna be harmful things. Are you okay with those? I think that's what you all should ask. You're asking the wrong questions, I guess. Not you per se. I think when we get into these relationships, we're not asking the right questions. You're like, oh girl, let me get him to hit this check mark, this check mark, this check mark, this check mark. It ain't about that. No, it's like, okay. And I know some people are like, your list changes when you get older because now you're not on the value, you're not on the market. Some of these women are never on the market. Now, just be honest. Some of these women are, no matter how old I get, they were not competing with me. That's just what it is. Then I'm not saying me personally, I'm just saying in general. In general. There are some women who are just whatever it is going on over there. It's not just looks, it's attitude, energy, it's all of it. They will never compete, and they will not compete with royals. They'll be like, oh, they body look. There's some women who are 20 who they don't. It ain't right. Now you can say, oh, they go to the gym. No, they don't even matter. It ain't just not attractive. So that sometimes, and I'm not saying on a large scale, but the scale is about, even if I'm gonna give it a 30-70. Okay. I'm gonna give it a 30-70. Their youth is the only thing really saving them to some degree to get them closer. But some of them still ain't even making it. So let's not BS. Let's not BS. And the reason why I'm saying that, and I could use myself as an example if you'd like, but then they'll probably try to drag me. And it is what it is. Yes, the 20-year-old me, yeah, of course. Like I mean, someone would be like, "Oh yeah, you look smart." Okay, but this me is pulling the same amount of gentlemen. So, and they're like, "Oh, everybody, those simps out there." Well, shit, it might be a lot of y'all then. I don't know. I don't know. No, I don't know. That's just all I do know is that all I do know is that there are times where even because, like I said, I've been out here looking for some ladies too. Okay, and and even me, I'm out here saying, "Oh no!" Like I have looked at women here about my age, and I'm like, "Okay, let's shoot. Let me, I don't mind. Let's shoot. Let's see." And I'm like, "Oh, oh," and I'm not saying all of them. I said that's 70-30 real. And I'm just like, what's going on? And if it's not that, if it's not the desire, even the look, I'm not just talking about looks. I'm talking about just mindset. Like I said, this is very hard already in the marketplace. But there's some things I'm just like, why? I don't even care what race it is. It's just tomfoolery at this point. So like I said, let's get our checklist right. What are we willing to be okay with? I think if we switched it up, it'd be easy. It's like if you go to a restaurant and you have a soy intolerance, there ain't a lot you can pick from, right? So what you do is you highlight all the stuff you can't eat. You know what I'm saying? That's where we should start. Because yeah, there's a lot out here that's wow foolishness. Anyway, but yeah, I think I think at that point, like you definitely just want to go out here with a different mindset in general, even if you're younger too, because I mean, y'all setting bars for stuff that most people aren't meeting. Like the majority, like 70% of these people aren't even meeting these criteria to start with. And there's a lot of men whose bar is extremely low. Also, there's like it's like an opposite. Women's extremely high, and men's are extremely low. Like, oh, does she move? I've heard men say, like, you know what? She's a lady. And she's a little bit interested. And she talks to me. That's gee, like, yeah, it's a lot. It's like, oh my gosh. And those men, it's hard if they ask me, hey, do you think I could find a woman? I'm like, sir, you will take anything with a heartbeat. So, and then you're going to be mad later on when they didn't really like you, or you thought I thought they was cool. No, you knew your line was low. Your bar was low. So I do agree, men need to raise the bar a little bit. Little bit. Little bit. Jeez. Okay, anyway, but let's read these questions again here. Marketplace value. I think in general, I think at least I don't use those words because I think it's stupid. But depending on the arena I'm in, if we're going to talk about a marketplace of anything, like I said, there's a cost to everything. There are ladies out here older still pull young men. It depends. It depends on lots of things, but a lot of people don't even want to. The work that has to go into some of that is a lot. Okay, I'll be honest. And restricting for some people, a little too much restriction. In a world where most Americans have no self-control, and that's even over just themselves. There's a lack of self-control on a monumental proportions. Just no self-control, and I include myself. Please don't think I'm excluding me. I am very much not so. And just to eating, like they used to, like I dated someone who made this comment, and at first I thought it was funny. He's like, "Oh, if your blood pressure's high, you could just pop a pill, and you could continue to eat like ridiculous, and you'll be fine." And I used to be like, "Yeah, You're right. And like, yes, you can continue to eat bad. Instead of having to be forced to do it right, you just continue to do what you want. And your medicine basically is just trying to keep you afloat as you're murdering yourself. Oh, sorry. As you're unaliving yourself. I apologize. And I was like, oh, hmm. And then later they said, I thought about it. I was like, yeah. And then so then we had the shot came out, right? And it's supposed to be used for diabetics or whatnot, or people with issues. And I'm so now if they overeat for the winter and gain 20 pounds, instead of having to go to the gym, they can just take a shot for 3 months and lose 40 pounds. No self-control. They don't have to control their desire. And then and it's like this is gonna sound so yeah, it is great. That sounds wonderful for people who are overly obese and they need to fix themselves because of weight issues. But the medicine, so this is what is concerning. Okay. Pharmaceutical companies are selling medicine, right? And no one finds it disturbing that the medicine is supposed to be used for health issues with diabetics, but it also the side effect of that is that you can have it's a lower appetite. That was a symptom of taking the medicine. That symptom, they're using that as something to help people who don't have issues lose weight. So now they can continue to be out of order and not have self control. And I listen, I have not listen. I talk about this cash money. This is just facts. I could be right here, right now, telling you this, and I'd be like, you know what, girl, if you that big and you don't think you can make it, I think that you should probably try it because you might die because the way you eat it might be bad. That I might say that I wouldn't say I would even promote it. I'm trying to tell. I keep saying that D word. I'm sorry. You may not be here anymore, and I don't want that. As a woman, I might say that, like seriously, but I don't think that you should, because in my heart I know that there could be side effects, and like I said, it's about the cost. And the issue is, you do a lot for little result in America. Like I said, a lot of people would get rid of their whole family to make $1. And that's just what it is. And that's not me being mean. It's being knowing that's what it is. They'll not talk to their family members or whatever just to make some money. And no, it's not every case. No. But we know that there are people who would do it. And it's not confusing. And there's a lot of people cut off their family after they get a little older. It's all kinds of stuff. So let's just not, we can't live in a delusion that it doesn't exist. And so what I'm saying is, when you don't have self-control, a place where there's no self-control, you don't have to actually fix anything. You don't. You can continue to hurt yourself. Basically, the message to me that I get is that you can continue to do whatever you want, and there's always a way to fix it, which then channels into the way we live our lives on a day-to-day basis. Because if there's no accountability for any of your actions, then why don't you just act out of line? That is the real truth. There's no real consequences for anything you do. That's basically what the message is for me. You can eat like food is going to disappear out your house and never come back. You can overindulge in sexual interactions and go get your stuff turned right back into like it never was used. There's women who go get their stuff put right back, tighten it up again. You can literally do anything, and they're basically taking away all the consequences. And so then no one is actually liable for anything that they do that's wrong. There's always a reason why. And that's down to people committing I think these young people who are committing these heinous live things. Because, yeah, some of them, yeah, will go to prison. And then some of them will say, well, I was emotionally distressed. In a state right now that there are a lot more women, like I told you before, you can't ignore the emotions. You need to know how to navigate. But there are a lot more women And these women have a voice in all matters. That's just what it is. If that is the case, heed what I'm saying. You have to learn how to navigate emotion, not try to kill it off. That's not the answer. And so you're also, because we're ran by money and things like that, you're fueling the accountability to not exist anymore. We're in a society where they tell the majority of people here are women, and you're telling them they don't have to take accountability, and in the same breath tell them to take accountability. Make that. I just also want to make that make sense. Make that make sense, because they are making a lot of money now. They're not making the majority. Men do a lot of the hard work and labor. Do a great job. And that's not a joke. Look, I ain't doing it. I ain't gonna lie. It ain't me. Okay, that's cool. But what I'm saying is that you're taking all the I don't know if it's accidental. You are taking away the accountability and then asking the ones who aren't accountable or who are not held accountable for most things to take accountability. I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm just trying to understand how it works. You're living in a society where they tell you to take accountability and then take away all the accountability. And then when something serious happens, tell you to take accountability. How that work? That's what somebody explain to me. How? How can you be held accountable when you're not held accountable for nothing? Nothing's your fault. And if something you did that's wild and you actually did it, it's because you were in an emotional state that holds you not accountable. And now it's not even just, it's the children too. That's why they're crazy. You can't even, a lot of times you can't even discipline your children because now the state will hold you accountable. But if they act bad, you're still held accountable for them acting out, even though you can't do anything about them acting out. And the answer for them acting out is that you have to pay money for somebody else to tell them to act right, but they can still not act right. I just need somebody to look at that. You know what I'm saying? So you don't hold anybody accountable. The U.S. doesn't hold anybody accountable for nothing. Unless you're just out of order. And the reason they're holding you accountable is because someone is making noise about it. It's halftime. Some people get away with all kinds of stuff, and we know some other reasons why. But yes, the accountability doesn't exist. It is going away because you can't hold anyone accountable for even their own actions for themselves as a person. How? If I like the example too of single mothers. They always say, "Oh yeah, they're complaining about not having food. Now look what's gonna happen. You're gonna lose your food stuff." And I'm like, and so what's that gonna make them do? Because we're gonna force them to do something. And I was like, what? All I see is somebody forcing somebody to start doing something that's illegal. For now, I don't really see the solution is not. I don't know, and it's just interesting. It's human behavior at its best. But yes, I think that we are forming a society where accountability doesn't exist. And in the ones that have it's not from the people, it's from the society, the government and stuff too. There is no, no matter what, the pharmaceuticals, everybody, you are not held accountable for nothing. And they have found a solution that can help you continue to be out of line if you want to. And that's what the sign should say when they say come to America. If you want to act out, we'll help you find a way that you can do that and it'd be fine. That's what it should be. That's what it should say. That should be the push. If you want to act out, wait. If you want to act out, and do everything that is bad to yourself. We will help you do it. And then we'll try to figure out a way to make sure you continue doing it longer so that we can make money off of it. That's what it is. Think about how much it was a GLP ones. Because, like I said, if you use it every 3 months, because you have, you're going to eat all this food and then you start using it again, you're going to have to get back on it. because all it's doing is telling you that you're not hungry. You're just like messing up you're just messing up your body's ability to tell that it's hungry, and you're losing weight in the result. That was a side effect has become a a medicine to someone else. And there's other side effects to it too, but it's not about them being bad or good. It's just about the fact that you don't have to try to do anything anymore. And then when you have children in the society that grow up in that, I mean, I don't know what it's going to look like, but everyone gets a participation ribbon for halfway doing shit. As I see it, you get a participation. If your something don't work out, oh, you try. You quit early, but I tried it. I didn't really like it though. And you know, half people ain't really trying. They have tried. So it's just listen. Who am I? Is this live was an hour? I didn't think I was gonna go that long. I'm gonna let it be. I appreciate y'all for stopping me in. And hopefully, maybe like I said, I'll take this up, maybe Mr. Best or something, and put it out there, and we have another deeper conversation on a panel, and then we'll enjoy every moment of that. So I should have made this a panel, but I can't sit on here for 4 hours. I got to actually get ready for it. But it is a good question. So I will let you go. And thank you for coming in. The center of the world. Oh, a paragraph, but thank you very much, Queen. You're a goat. Look, I break things down. What did I say? The marketplace value one? Oh, maybe I missed something. Let me see. Let me take a look here because I want to make sure we're on the same page. Oh, Lord, praise and hang on one second. Let me read this too. Oh, Lord. So you're asking about the price the man makes harmful or harmless. They answered that one, I thought. Okay. And you mean the Arrested Development? I'm gonna make sure I have the definition if you don't mind, because I don't like answering questions I don't know. This phone I don't like. I have 2 phones and one's evil. Just want you to know that, Jerome. I want evil phone and one not evil phone. And some of these, just be looking at this. And people be calling me, I don't even hear it. And make sure I go up that. I wasn't supposed to be in here that long. What time is it now? Like 10? Oh, Lord, it's 11. I was acting out. I didn't even drink all my stuff, Lord. Bear with me. I said this phone's evil. Oh, okay. Okay. The Arrested Development part. said, wait, let me read it again, Laura. I told her, I'd be like, this is my ADHD. I'd be like, I'll read something and it's like gone. It don't even make sense. How do you know that? I think most men are they're arrested. They just in general ain't grown up yet. Most men that think don't hit maturity in their 50s. I think that's really was something. I'll look that up too. It's like old. Yeah, they physically meet it at like 22 or something. The men ain't there yet. They're physical, yes. I don't think men hit maturity until later. I wouldn't say 50. If it was me personally, if I had to say off the top of my head, I'd probably say like 33. Okay. It says, I feel like women always have an idea in their head, and if you don't fit the narrative, you're a liar, even if you're being completely sincere. Um, Princess syndrome. I'm gonna make a moan syndrome. The idea of what a prince should be, which is actually idiotic if you think about it, because I ain't never seen no princess on one of these. First off, these princes ain't even in the storyline. It's always this woman going through all this traumatic shit. This a man has to come save her, and then when he comes save her, right? He don't really do a lot talking to her. He ain't like trying to pursue her in any special way. He just show up and she's like, oh my god, he's got money and he seems cute. But like when in any of those movies did they show the man actually acting, talking, speaking? Not really. No, I don't remember no Sleeping Beauty's man ever say shit. Snow White, I don't think a nigga said too much than 4 sentences. They don't talk. They just have stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember what they look like. That's just being real honest. Do you remember what they look like? I don't. They was taller than them. That's it. It's all. It was a little taller than them. I ain't never seen a prince that was shorter than a princess. The only one who had a little bit of character acting was Tiana. Or yeah, that's the only one. And he was part of the storyline, but even him, like, he got a little bit of spaz, but I think that was just because of, but any other of these princes, Rapunzel, I don't know, her storyline, who was her man? I don't think she had a man who was like, he didn't become a king when he got with her. I don't think they got married. You see what I'm saying? Like, because he didn't have no money and he wasn't no prince. I think, no, he was a prince. I lied. He was a prince. But he was acting out all the time. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't think so. Listen. These movies never, they show women having these most traumatic life experiences. And a man, all he had to do was appear and be taller than her and have some money. And she wanted to be with him. And she was broke. It's always the same story. That's it. Ma'am, you just have to look kind of good. Like Ariel, she was a princess, though. Acting out, found a prince. He didn't do nothing. He was dry. That whole scenario when they was on the boat spinning around, he didn't even do that. They was trying to get him to fall in love with her. He wasn't even like, he didn't do what he did. But where did he show Karen and emotional, any kind of emotional interaction with her? None. He didn't even talk to her. Man, conversation. You want to go to dinner? And they sat and looked at each other and ate the food. And she was amazed by the food itself and the presentation. Beauty and the Beast. He literally yelled at her the whole time, sent her to her room. And he said, I like books. She was like, oh, I like books too. And he was like, oh, okay. Like, there wasn't no deep conversation, emotional connection. Ain't nothing happened. So when I say these women out here, you said that the women expect a prince. My question is, what part of the emotional part they thought they was getting? because they're getting exactly that dryness. Ain't nothing there because their expectation is they come there with those items. This is because men are literal, right? They come there with the items you said you wanted. Then they should have acceptance based on that. They hit the check marks they think you wanted, and you're still saying no. So now everybody's all confused. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. You said you wanted me to have a job. You said you wanted me to make sure I brush my teeth and did my hair. Okay. You told me this. You told me if I took you out every Thursday, we was gonna be good. And I thought, the sacrifice I have to make, that's good. Okay, I can do this. That's a good price. You see, there's always a price. It's just, what is it? I think we want it because the fact that price is always connected to something like money is a thought. The price isn't always just money. It's what you're getting out, right? So we say, what is it worth? It's not always about money. So what is it worth? And man has to deem you worth enough. And man can love you and you still cost too much. And then he won't be with you because you're too much. He's like, I can't do it, but I like her. I can't do it. Look at men, they do it all the time. Like, oh no, like, oh, I've heard men not even talk to a woman because they're like, oh, she looked like she looked like she want all this stuff. I can't do that. They won't even talk to her because so when these women get all dressed up, or they think, oh, I'm looking like a bad. No, you looking very expensive, and the cost may not be money. The cost might be peace. Hairlines. It might be a lot, and they can't do it. And they might say, listen, damn, you was expensive, but you do look good. I might try to hit it, but I can't keep it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's too much. And I think if we thought about that, there was a lady who said it, I posted it in my story. That was exactly what she said, but she said it more eloquently. It's exactly what I'm saying. You cost too much. Personally, emotionally. Women say that, like, men don't think that men cost too. Like, I'm not man right now. Like, I set the bar kind of high. You know what I'm saying? And I've been going through some stuff. Okay, this job ain't got consistent hours, all over the place. Emotionally, mentally, I'm tired. I'm angry for no reason because I can't sleep. Okay. And I know that I went in there high. And I'm looking at him, and when he looked at me, he's like, hey, so what happened to that? I'm like, listen, tell you something. Okay, I know you cost some of my sleep. I'm aware. And so I'm gonna have, if I deem it important, I'm gonna do it. There are times I'm like, damn, he's expensive, but I'm gonna pay. You know what I'm saying? What I'm trying to say is, Lord, women, if you look at it like this, okay, you pay for your hair to get done. So it might be $1,200. You know it's a lot. But you know that girl, she do a good braid pattern and all that, and she'd wash it and dry it for you. She worth it. That's what the man is. He worth it. The price he asking. He wants you to cook, blah, blah, blah. Okay. He might be worth it. You got, that's all I'm trying to say. You got to figure it out. Is he worth it? And then you say, okay. Now you just keep doing it. If you don't want to, you just do it anyway, because that's what it is. He's like, okay. And then there's sometimes you find a person that likes to do the things you like, which is nice too. You're like, you know what? I already do. And that's what men do. Like, she likes to go out on Thursday. Well, I like to go out too. So I'm not losing anything with that. That's something I do already. There's no loss. There's a lot of men who are, they don't like to go out and socialize like that, right? And they get to the point they just want to go home and then sit down and drink a beer and watch a show. That's where they are. And you're like, I want to go out, baby. I want to go outside. Okay. He don't want to go. And when he go outside with you, because he care about you, he has to emotionally get ready to go out on Thursday, Lord Friday. He got to be ready for you. He got to be ready for you when you come in from your brunch, drunk, talking about you about to take it. All kinds of stuff. So he got to think, is that worth it? And that's what it is all about. So, are you worth it? That's what this whole thing is. I don't want a relationship like that. Is a lot of, like I said, my idea in the beginning, but at the end of the day, you have to find someone who's worth it to you. and not just worth you taking all the L's. Is what we're putting in worth what we're getting out? And is it worth all that? And there are some men, women, when you find them, they deem you more worthy than you actually are to someone else. And so that's why to someone else, you are very needy, you are all this. And another man, he's like, you're worth every moment. Is because he deems you that based on him and his value system. And you're worth it. And that's why I think women look at other women who have the I don't have to work, I don't have to do all this, and they say, oh my gosh, I want that life, and someone should give it to me. There's someone has to find that in you that you're worth it. And if you can't do all that, you're still worth it. If the things that, there's a lot of times you got to recognize there are people who someone else deems worth it, worth giving them all of themselves, sacrificing them all. I don't think that's actually healthy, but who am I? I don't think it's healthy to give someone all of you to the point where you are no longer there. And I think that's what a lot of women experience at some part in the 90s, where they are like, all these men just take from us. And it's because you've deemed that man worthy that much that you no longer have an identity and that your needs didn't matter. And then when they told you that, hey, I don't want you anymore, you felt like you lost everything because everything you deemed valuable and everything else was with them, but they're not there no more. And when you lose that, you lose. It's to a man, because I think men don't understand this. It's kind of like losing your purpose. That's the equivalent. It's like losing your purpose. Without a purpose, what do you do? And have you been thought about it like that? When a woman's like, I poured into this man, I get him everything. I was working this job and he went to school and I took care of him. We didn't have nothing. And now he looks at me like, oh, you took me when I was this way. And you know what, babe, I think I'm going to move on to this woman, I really wanted to be with, whatever the case is. And the thing is that because it's like she lost her purpose. A man doing it to a woman is like her losing her purpose. And that's a horrible thing to lose. Right? I'll read these last questions and I'll get off. A way better therapist. Oh, okay. So whose channel by I Love? Let me go down a little bit. I'm sorry. There's another YouTube channel named Kara says she's a Black woman in relationships with another woman and a man. All three of them love each other. Okay. I'll investigate. Sure. I am not monetized yet. So I used to start by myself. I started doing some panels. I like to participate with others. That's probably why I'm a good poly partner, is because I'm an assist. I like to assist everyone else. I don't find great joy in assisting myself. I know that sounds strange to most people. I don't find joy and I don't find purpose in assisting myself. I have to really work hard to do that. And it's not a bad thing. People are like, oh, you should really want to pull yourself. It's not that. That's not my purpose here on earth. That's what I feel like. My purpose is not that. My purpose is to help others and to be an assistant to whatever they're doing. And it's not everyone. And so I used to be like, oh, it's everybody. And yes, if my job was to be a therapist or help people in growing themselves, I went to school to be a teacher. Those are things I love to do because that's where my heart is. But when I'm in a relationship, I can pour. It's like the sacrifices I make, I deem valuable to me, if that makes sense. So when I'm in a relationship with multiple people, I'm giving, and that makes me happy all the time, constantly. And so I was like, why can't you do that to one person? I can. But a lot of times, someone who's an overgiver can seem overwhelming to others. And I can be overwhelming when I'm one-on-one. People won't say that, but I've been aware of it a very, very long time. Aware of it from even when I was a teenager. And so since I know that my pump it up is a lot, and some people need a break from that. And I'm very aware of it. I've been aware of it for a very, very long time. And so even probably like fifth grade. So I know that there's people who like a dose of me. And that's okay too. Because Others can take a lot of me, and so I'm like, oh, so it's okay. And I have that ability to be able to compartmentalize and give the energy I can. And I navigate it still to this day. So, and I work on trying to be the best partner I can in those situations. And I have to learn a lot of restraint because I am, since I know I'm that have that spirit of sacrificing, is that sometimes I'll sacrifice to the wrong people who don't need or who will take too much from me. I'm very aware of that. But in me giving, sometimes I can't see it. So that's why it's very important for me to also be very particular in who I pick as partners, because I want to give to the right people. And you got to make sure those people don't take too much. Not because I have other partners, but also because you do have to make sure that you're you. And I'm me. So you just have to make sure that you also are getting poured into as you give out, regardless of being that person who will give everything but 5%. You know, you got to make sure that you're getting poured into so you can continue to give out, right? Let's see. I concur. I'm going to continue this conversation with my therapist. Yeah, sure. And don't analyze too much. I think when we I think another thing that's really bad around these places is that we have spaces to go and talk on levels that are above where we are educational wise. And I don't think that's bad. You need to be educated, okay? You need to be educated and get good information. And you need to, even myself, when I became poly, I went to scholarly reviews. And yeah, obviously there's going to be some opposition of that all the time. But you want to go get information from people who, a group of select people who are experts in that area, have deemed that, hey, what they're saying sounds pretty good. They got some good evidence. They did some research, and you want to go look into that so that you, when you come to the forefront, you can say all the information that you know. And you can also debate yourself. You should be able to have contrast with what you believe, because we're not on the same boat. Okay? None of my phones. So you want to be able to live in the realm where you can contradict yourself, because you want to challenge yourself to be better on all realms. And you can't challenge yourself. Hang on one second. You can't challenge yourself to be better when you're in a state of denial. That is the truth. If you're in denial that there is opposition to what you believe, you're not challenging yourself. There's always someone who can think that you're wrong. And my point is to never try to convince someone that I'm right. I just want you to understand where I'm coming from. Other than that, I'm good, because you can still disagree. And we'll agree to disagree, because you see why I've come to that decision. And that's all that matters. Because if you can see how I got there, most respect. Because I can try to see how you got there. And then I can understand. Understanding is where we need to be. I'm not trying to convince you to do anything. If I convince you, that's, hey, listen, you saw my journey was maybe a little better than yours. I'm not trying to convince you to do anything. Matter of fact, lots of I'm trying to unconvince you to do things, especially when it's poly. I'm probably trying to convince you to continue on your path of being monogamous. But if that's not for you, I will help you in your journey to figure out what is. That's how I feel about it. Because most likely this isn't going to be the easiest route. And in your opposition of what the majority does, there will be troubles. And the question is, can you be okay with that? And that's a special person. I'm not saying we're all special. I'm just saying there's I'm okay. Are you okay? Can you handle it? Or if you're not there yet, just know it. That's it. It's not always about fixing the problem. It's about being aware of it and knowing what it is. That's all. So I will let you guys go. It'd be great. Appreciate this live. I think this live was very refreshing. I was gonna be on Tickety Talk with it, but I thought this was the place for it because on Tickety Talk I want to do gaming content. I want to hyper focus on that, and so I don't want to jump back and forth with my content because I know how it is when they come in the room. You're like, oh, she's talking about Polish stuff, and they want to see me playing a game, and so I want to try to keep it streamlined a little bit. But I appreciate you guys coming in, your comments. Thank you, Center of the World. I hope you have great conversations. Hope this opened up some information for most people. I haven't posted in so long, and I'm still so happy that some people came in here when I went live. And I'll try to do a panel. I'll plan something out with Mr. Betts. If you don't know who that is, he has his own channel, but he has a lot more consistency with things. And I'm not over on this side right now. I'm just gonna be really honest with you. I really haven't ever been, unless I posted videos. And now this as the years have progressed, I'm getting further in my career in corporate, and it's just not a lot of room for time. And when I have my time, it's really, really has to be delegated. So even though I'm trying that, and I'm trying new content because relationship content had gotten to a point where it kind of it was a little more stressful, and I felt like I was arguing with people all the time, and that's you can't argue, you can't be in that state of aggression and stress all the time. You need a relief, and those atmospheres you do need a break from. And bless all the people who do it, but on your body and stuff, I don't want all that all the time. And so the gaming is something I find joy and have conversation in, and I can still talk about relationships in a positive manner and still have that good energy. And I still want to come up here. Like I said, I love helping people. I love conversation. But I definitely don't mind a good debate or discussion. I really like it. So, but I also want to be able to explore other parts of me. So that's another conversation for another time. I wanted to have a conversation about how most people in the relationship don't get to see the whole full you. They only get partial. Most people only get a portion of you and know a portion of you your whole life. And when someone was to ever read a document about someone, they're like, I didn't know they did that or that. And even their own husband will not know things because we are multi faceted, and most people only get a portion of who we are. So, till next time, enjoy your day. All right, dears. Bye.